Well, I worked in high school. I worked I was a stock and a cashier in a grocery store called Bob's Thriftway, which doesn't exist anymore in Gardner. But we had a guy he was actually a special needs guy, and he went back by the milk container, the milk rack, and he slipped and fell, and he was unconscious. And I didn't have a clue what to do. Here I was 17, maybe 18 years old at the time, and I never wanted to experience that feeling of helplessness, not being able to do anything for the guy. So it got me interested in becoming a firefighter, and that led to becoming an EMT. And one thing led to another, and 31 years later, here I am. We were doing the MDA boot block. We were standing out there in front of the grocery store with our boots and accepting donations from people as they walked by for the Jerry Lewis telethon, for the MDA telethon. And a couple walked by and they said, "Hey, that little girl's got her head stuck in a window." So we looked, and sure enough, there was a little girl, hair, long hair coming out of the window. As we got closer, I flipped the hair up, and she was blue and not breathing. So at that point, "Dave, go call 911." And we are 911, but we don't have any of the equipment. We didn't have any of the trucks. We just had our knowledge, and in this case, CPR. So we unrolled the window. She fell back into the car. We pulled her out, put her on the ground, started doing mouth-to-mouth and CPR on her. And 2 or 3 minutes later, she was breathing and had a heartbeat, on her own. So that was probably the greatest feat, the greatest task in my career. My wife always kind of keeps me planted on the ground. I got promoted, and it's a supervisory position. It's a lot of responsibility, but she come back home and she's the chief, so she keeps my feet planted on the ground. Well, Brian's he's a special needs not, I always say a special needs child. He's not a child anymore, he's an adult, but he has special needs, and that's obviously had an impact on our family's life, and not in a negative way by any means. In fact, if anything, it's been in a positive manner. What am I going to miss most about being on the fire department? Well, it's definitely being around all the people. You live with these guys for 24 hours at a time. You get to know them pretty good, and it's just the camaraderie, being able to be around a bunch of guys that have the same interest and the same goal in life as far as helping people.
Chief Keiter is a very knowledgeable chief, passionate about the job, very professional. I enjoyed working with him for a long time.
He trusts his officers that we know what we're doing. He just tells us what he needs done, and he trusts that we're going to get it done.
Chief Keiter, he's the type of leader that leads you by example. The pieces that he loves, especially the community collaboration classes with the school district, bike helmets, special event planning, and obviously codes.
I was really kind of initially a little depressed about retiring, because this is what I've done for most of my life. So the thought of retiring was actually a little depressing, but I'm getting over that pretty quick. I remember during my very first interview, and they said, "Why do you want to be a firefighter?" Well, I reflected back to that incident when I was in high school at the grocery store, and I wanted to know how to help people when they needed help the most.